All right, CS:GO is back on Steam. It has a new Steam app ID. As you may know, when CS2 was released about 2 years ago, it replaced CS:GO. Valve obviously wanted to keep their player base together, so they converted CS:GO into CS2. Unfortunately, that made user-made content, custom maps, and stuff all unplayable. They opened up a beta branch as like a legacy branch, and so you could opt in your properties and still get the CS:GO content that way. What this appears to be is that same thing, just in a separate Steam app ID. It's not playable online matchmaking or anything like that. It's essentially like opening the legacy branch, which was previously available in the properties. So as you see, it's unlisted. I'll put the link in the description there so you can add it if you like. So they retroactively have it as a release date 2012, but this is an otherwise new Steam app ID with 5,000 reviews already. I think this was released yesterday, pretty quietly by Valve here. So I imagine the reason is just to make it a little easier to access the CS:GO content. There's things like Momentum Mod, which use CS:GO content, and it previously had that extra step. That was kind of a pain to go through the properties and download the beta branch. Now at least it's a separate Steam store thing. So Legacy branch, um, which has been part of CS:GO or CS2. So as you see here, no danger zone. We have only the option to practice with bots, do training course, workshop maps, and community server browser. Except there is no workshop here, at least at this moment. Maybe, hopefully, they'll add that back in. People can add their workshop content back in. And the community server browser hasn't worked in years for reasons. So you have to essentially use a website, cs2servers.com or something like that, to browse servers. I'll see if I can find one of those that's working good for CS:GO right now and put that in the description as well for what it's worth. I don't even think you can access your inventory because it doesn't connect to the CS network. You just see the news. This is CS2 news. But that's essentially it. So it just makes it easier to access the game files. The game files are now a separate app in Steam. And you get to hear the sweet nostalgic menu music. Brings us back. But that is CS:GO back on Steam. It seems maybe like a bigger deal than it is. I think it's really just moving that beta branch into its own app ID here. Maybe that means they're gonna push an update to it. I don't know. We'll see. Um, yeah, we'll see what they do. It's really hard to it's impossible to tell with Valve sometimes what they're doing. But yeah, there it is, and you'll have a link in the description if you need and want it, but there's not otherwise a lot of reason to do it unless you're trying to access that content, the maps or the models or something like that. So that's it. Post below if you got any questions or comments. Thanks for watching, as always.